call me heretic, say I've lost my way, claim I'm deceived, led astray by the day. Gnostics, your Masons, live they spin, but I stand in truth with Christ within. No 501c chains can hold my soul. The Spirit's fire has made me whole. Through slander and scorn, I'll walk this road. My heart's secure in the Savior's
I'll
soul.
see you at the great white throne judgment, where truth will shine and lies are undone. Every knee will bow, every heart made known. I'll stand with my King at the great white throne.
I'll stand you at the great white throne. Yeah. They whisper delusions, say my mind's gone, but I see the light where the shadows are drawn. The season of deception is short, it will fade. My faith's built on rock, not the games they've played. False accusers rise, but I won't bend. My hope's in Christ, my beginning and end. With joy I press on, His grace my defense. The truth will prevail in His holy presence.
I'll see you at the great white throne judgment, where truth will shine and lies are undone. Every knee will bow, every heart made known. I'll stand with my King at the great white throne.
No fear in my heart,
No doubt in my soul.
the Lamb's book of life
is where I'm enrolled.
Your words may cut,
But they'll never define.
my Savior's the judge.
And His verdict is mine.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the great white throne judgment, where truth will shine and lies are undone. Every knee will bow, every heart made known. I'll stand with my King at the great white throne.
So call me what you will, I'll carry this load. My eyes on the prize, where His glory's bestowed. At the great white throne, we'll all stand in awe. I worship my King. So the great white throne. Yeah.
Hey, my fellow weather watchers and climate disaster dodgers. This will be one of my last videos on the weather for a couple reasons. The first is that I believe the Father led me to gather enough evidence to close the case on what's truly happening with the weather. The second reason is because I believe all my other research is going to be more beneficial to helping thwart the enemy's plan to destroy my brothers and sisters' faith in the not-so-distant future, which ties into the last reason. The enemy's minions are actively running truther movements with the sole intent of eroding man's trust in man and current power structures. This will then lead to a mass consent to allow AI overlords, AI government, AI police, judicial, and to replace all current man-run institutions with AI. I believe this will eventually pave the way for the old gods, the lowercase g gods, to reveal themselves and destroy humanity's faith in the creator of all things while claiming they were our creators, simultaneously destroying all of humanity's faith. Once man's faith in man and God is destroyed, their hearts will be ripe to submit to their new little g gods. This video is a culmination of 3 years of evidence and my father giving me the understanding to figure out exactly how man-made climate change is happening. I believe that this video conclusively and unequivocally proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that man-made climate change is real. How it's being done, the various techniques and anomalies, and how they are directly affecting the weather. I will show how to spot, document, expose, and protect you and your family to the best of my ability. I am not an expert. I am a self and Holy Spirit taught amateur at best, but I believe this is the most complete and evidence-based compilation of evidence to prove exactly what is happening. Due to old Uncle Algo, you know, the one with that go rhythm, and his sneaky shadow banning and silencing techniques, I will have to play some fun word games in order to make sure this video sees the light of day. This video proves man-made climate change is real, so you would think the algorithm would favor it and not suppress its reach, because I'm just simply supporting the official narrative. Right, Algo? One fun word game we are going to play will be using cow farts to describe various energies that may or may not be heading in a focused direction from a particular source. You know, when energy sometimes focuses itself in a particular direction in the form of a pew-pew. You see what I'm saying? Like drinking that soda called Mountain. It rhymes with poo. And in the mornings, I love to see the sun shining in the grass in the morning dew. Get it? Hopefully. So to recap, when I talk about cow farts coming from a certain type of tower, a real rad tower, if you know what I'm saying, I'm referring to those energies being focused or directed, you could say, from really rad towers. The towers that tell the weatherman when the storm's coming, allegedly. There's an entire section dedicated to cow farts coming from devices mounted to planes as well, and how, when those farts are lit up, they create a spectacular light show befitting of a 70s disco party. Definitely not your grandma's lightning, if you know what I'm saying. Now I'll draw your attention to the screen here, because everybody remembers rainbow clouds as a kid, right? Totally natural. Nothing to see here. Those are just your rainbow cumulus ceticus, you know, whatever scientific term they make up. There's a beautiful sun halo, a little angel of death. Interesting. And just to be clear, these are not natural. And the clouds should not be rainbow colored. And you shouldn't be seeing sun halos like that just in reflecting off your normal clouds. It's just not normal. You can actually see sunspots on that sun that's allegedly 93 million miles away. In the center there, you're going to see a video of the main lakes that had only just frozen over and typically get covered with snow shortly after. I have never seen every lake and pond covered with a uniform sheet of dust like this when I was doing astrophotography. I took a small sample and it had all the colors of the rainbow in terms of cloud planting agents. It had the brown dust, the glitter shortage, conspiracy, shiny confetti, and the most disgusting, the magnetic black dust. Smart dust, you could say. Keep in mind, every lake was covered in a thick sheet of this stuff, which means everywhere else was a well, which means all the animals, the plant life, us, everything has been toxified. Even if they stop this stuff tomorrow, I don't care how many laws you pass or how many people you vote into office, it doesn't really matter at this point. Clearly, they're not going to stop. The states that have passed laws are still getting dumped on. Many of the people that have drank so much fluoride that they just have no ability to objectively think anymore are just going to believe whatever authority tells them. Authority will come up with a new scientific name and they'll be like, okay. Right here is some astrophotography footage, and that cloud layer is extremely low. And this is one of the nights where I got that sample off the lake. And you can see right here, there's a very interesting, perfectly rectangle hole in the clouds. You see that? It's kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what's causing that. But those clouds, like I said, are extremely low. And there's definitely lots of Jetsons traffic going on up there. It ain't satellites, because the math ain't mathin' on satellites. Because if you look up the sizes of those satellites, the speeds, the trajectories, they do not match what I document up there. The last 2 years, the activity is exponentially increased. Before that April 8th eclipse a while back, I used to be able to get all kinds of clear night sky footage. In the last couple of years, I'm lucky to get maybe 1 or 2 days a month, and it's still never really perfectly clear. You can still see some sort of haze or halo. I don't really know what's going on with these fast mover clouds. I don't know if that's coming from the radars, moving the particulates around, smart dust around, because it does seem like they can direct these clouds directly over my house, because a perfectly clear night with a perfectly clear forecast, the sky will get covered. And mind you, this is one of my top 4 most censored topics, night sky astrophotography and documenting all the Jetsons level traffic up there. If it's just satellites, I don't know why they're so hard pressed to censor the videos, right? That doesn't make much sense. It does say your leaders hate you. That's true. Definitely true. Fluorescent green and red there. Fast mover. But as we move on in this video, I'm going to have a section on cow fart blasters mounted to planes, causing disco party lightning. I'm going to have a section on radar anomalies and how they used to look on the radars before myself and a few other people started to expose them. Here's one of these clouds that just forms directly above my house and just stays there perfectly above my house. And you'll see in a minute where they're just these sheets. And if you draw a straight line with these square clouds that are about to roll in, they go right back to the radar in Brunswick, Maine, which is the closest radar to me. But I'm going to have an entire section where I break down various storms. I cover the hurricanes, the one that drenched North Carolina. I cover the storm that wiped out that little girl's summer camp or whatever it was. I cover most of the major storms in the last couple years. And I go through and I show exactly where all the cow farts are coming from. I show the warning areas that they claim are warning areas. And I show how the cow farts are being used and creating the, look, watch this cloud. That is not how clouds form. Just these perfect straight lines, just in sheets coming directly over my house, one after another. And if you follow like the rectangle from those cloud lines, they go right back to where the cow fart blasters are at the radar stations. Look at that. Perfectly straight lines of clouds going by one after another. Now, this is a crazy one. You're going to have to put on your, I don't say tinfoil because tinfoil is for amateurs. Real pros. If you want to stop EMF, you got to use copper. It's the only way to do it. So I called this one Moon Fingers because I woke up with a metallic taste in my mouth, coughing, came outside, smoked a cigarette, no organic, all natural tobacco, nanobot killer. And right where my Wi-Fi router and my smart meter are, these fingers or arms are coming down. And mind you, this is only like maybe 20 to 50 feet above my house, going right where my Wi-Fi router and my smart meter were. All right. Tell Grandma to put on her disco shoes because we are about to go dancing like John Travolta. Watch this. Watch the ether turn into a mushroom cloud right here. You can see some sort of cow fart energy, and you'll see a pattern here over and over and over again where you see flash, 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 various colors, and then you'll see your lightning shoot out of this hole. And later on, I'm going to break down and change the colors on these, but it is crazy. I cut out some of the gaps between the flashes just so you can see how they're hitting the same spots over and over and over and over again. I have shots where, I mean, they were firing these things probably 100 yards from me. I had to take my shoes off a few times. Power lines are popping and snapping above me. But you can see, it almost looks like there's like a targeting spot on the ground. And then you'll see this boosh. And then you'll see the lightning. And then another time, you're going to see these like perfectly straight lines coming down at an angle. And mind you, every time you're seeing these flashes, I'm hearing planes fly over. Right? I was in the military. I was obsessed with aviation my whole life. And it's the same planes flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time they sweep through, look at that. It pops a hole in the ether. Look at that. It lights up the entire sky and whites out my camera. And there you see it blasting through the clouds at an angle. It creates this mushroom cloud, and you get these weird light patterns where you see this perfectly straight line going across the image in the camera. I've been taking photographs and video my whole life, and I have never in my life caught stuff like this. And this is just from like a few storms. Right there, you see flash, 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 and then the lightning comes out of it. You ever see? Look at that. Tell me that's natural. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to believe you. It's right there. There's the targeting shot. Targeting shot. Boosh. Hole in the sky. No lightning. And you're going to see this over and over and over again. This is a fairly long section, but for the naysayers out there, you know, I know you want to submit to authority. I know you don't want to believe any of this is possible. Now, this is crazy. This is the next storm. And I think this or the next one after was the last time they ever did it. Because I started making videos. I just go stand out in this, which was probably not the smartest idea to go stand out there. But, you know, for me, it was worth the risk because people need to, like, wake up that this is happening. Not that I believe we can stop it, but if you can at least educate yourself, you can protect you and your family. You can start to learn how to read this stuff. And, you know, when they put out those warning areas, you know, it's not because they're, you know, their algorithms and their mathematical formulas and their college tells them where it's going to happen, right? It's where they plan to destroy an area. It's not a warning area. I call them planned destruction areas. Now, you're going to see in this one, I cut out the little gaps between the flashes so you can see. They're just flashing the same spot over and over and over and over again. You'll see multiple colors. Later on in the video here, I adjust the colors, and then I adjust them some more. And you'll see towards the end of this section how insane it is. So right here, there's a swamp across from my house. They keep hitting the same spot over and over and over again. And you will see this, like, it looked like a tornado to me at the time. I thought they were trying to create a tornado. Maybe it's just they're blasting frequency into the swamp and it's creating moisture. And the storms absolutely love moisture. Right there, right in the center. You see it? Right where that little triangle was. But it's just crazy. Look at that. That's not lightning. That's a strobe light. That is a strobe light from a 1999 to early 2000s rave party. That's what that is. You see it flashing over and over and over again. Different colors. Planes come by. I don't know how many planes were up there. It seemed like at least 2, maybe 3. Nothing showing up on flight radar. But you see the flash, 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 and then you'll see a lightning like that. You see these like perfectly straight lines going across the lens right there. It looks like a war. That's what it looks like. It looks like a war movie, a UFO attack movie. It looks like there are military ordnance just popping off everywhere in explosions. But allegedly, that is just your average lightning. Now, I've seen many people have videos of this all over the place. And I had to include it in this video because this is my one unaliving of the naysayers' arguments here against man-made climate change. Because like I said, I'm going to prove man-made climate change is real. And I will show all the various facets from, Nero playing the harp as Rome burns to the cow farts coming out of the rad towers to the cow farts coming out of the planes to all the different stuff they're dumping in the sky, a lot of which they seem to be able to control with the cow farts coming from the rad towers. I mean, I'll be honest, I just don't know how people look at this and they convince themselves this is how it's always been. It's just, that's just not the case. It is not the case. I don't remember ever seeing disco strobe party lightning storms, targeting shots and blasts and perfect mushroom clouds being formed. And I'm coming up on the section here right at the end with I adjust the colors to an extreme level, and you'll see the definition. You'll see the defined beam, right? There's another targeted shot. Or oh, that's the same one. I just slowed it down again. But I come through here in a minute, and you will see clear mushroom clouds being cooked out of the ether, holes being blasted, lightning shooting out of that hole. You'll see these defined Star Trek tractor beam looking things coming in at an angle. You'll see all the different colors, and there's your little funnel right there in the center. See that? That's the hole where the lightning shoots out. That's the end result. And this is what it starts out as. You see these little mushroom clouds being formed, like it shoots down like that, and then the lightning comes out of the hole. And coming up, you're going to see that Star Trek look at that. That's not lightning, folks. That is a Starship Enterprise tractor beam cow fart being fired. And there's multiple. If they fire multiple ones, sometimes it's multiple colors, sometimes it'll be the same color, but it's like blues, purples, yellows, reds. And then you'll see here, it's always like a directed focal round spot over and over and over again. They just keep hitting the same spots. And then you'll see either an explosion like a mushroom cloud in the ether, or you'll see a lightning bolt shoot out of the hole. But I'm sorry, folks. Like, see, you got two beams coming in from either side here. You can see the clearly defined beams being shot from either direction. A plane on one side, a plane on the other side. Two farts combined. Silent but deadly. As these are playing through, see, you get a hole up in the clouds there. You see, right at the top, you see this spot, a round spot light up. And then you see it bust through the clouds. And then you'll see this perfectly centered hole. And then in a second, you're going to see a mushroom cloud where it blasts the ether with cow fart energy. These cows, we got to do something about these cows, you know what I mean? They're just destroying humanity. Just blasting their foot. Right there was a mushroom cloud. Right above the tree line there. I think I slow it down in a second so you can see it a little bit better. But you see fire, 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 like all these directed round right there. Perfect little mushroom cloud over that tree. See it? They'll fire a whole bunch of from a different angle or from the same angle, and then all of a sudden you see like an explosion right there. Look at that. Tell me that is not a mushroom cloud being cooked through the ether. Look at that. That's not lightning. That's not what lightning does. I'm sorry. It's just not. I don't care what TV weatherman is telling you. That's not what lightning does. It does not just cook a hole and cause a nuke. All right, moving on. Now, this was earlier on when I didn't really know the big picture. The father hadn't really shown me. And this is back when, like, pretty much nobody was documenting anomalies at this point. And I don't know how that people weren't seeing them, because they were everywhere. Nowadays, they do a pretty good job at hiding them. But like I always say in pretty much every one of my shorts, they're doing so much, right? There's so many cow farts blasting off in every direction, in every state, working in unison. Just unified cow farts destroying lives. But this is how it used to be. This one in Ottawa, that the cow farts coming out of there, powerful. Powerful. Not as powerful as the one you're going to see here in a second off the coast of New York. Because those cow farts are so powerful, they can split the entire jet stream in a matter of hours, if not less than that. You'll see it. You'll see the cow fart shooting straight from New York, and it splits the jet stream directly in half. But like I said, you know, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, when I first started doing these, I had no idea. I was just looking for anomalies. If the clouds looked crazy at my house, I'd go onto the radars. And I'd be like, oh, the radar's doing this. The clouds look like that, right? Like that first video when the radar videos popped up, you saw the ripple clouds. That's all those particulates in the sky being manipulated by cow farts, the frequencies of cow farts, right? Because everything's frequency. And the frequencies coming out of those super rad towers. Now, as I go through, I'm going to start getting into my more specified where I started to figure out, right? I go to Antarctica. I go to the north, which, weirdly enough, I'm pretty much the only person who has documented over the last 2 years these radar anomalies in the north. Oh, and the right side there, look at those polka dots. Little polka dot storm. And then look at this right above Antarctica. Look at these. You remember the blobs that people were finding? Check this out. It's a whole family of blobs. One after another after another. Interesting, huh? It's going to be even more interesting when I take you to Google Earth Street View and show you miles and miles of antennas down in Antarctica. You think that little station up in Alaska is something? I'm telling you, they have covered Antarctica with these things. And it's actually well-known information. Go ahead and look up Japan and China's, Nero playing the harp instrument, stringed instrument. So coming up here, you're going to see this dew firing off of New York. There's going to be a few random ones. And then I'm going to do a little side-by-side, and you're going to see, cow fart, morning dew, whatever. Same thing. But anyways, you're going to see this cow fart coming off of New York, and you're going to watch, undeniably so, right? Because they're seeing all these anomalies, right? And you're like, maybe it's doing something. So this is what they're going to say. They're going to be like, oh, that's just a radar reflection or military chaff. All right? Tell me that's military chaff or a radar reflection and that it has nothing to do with the weather pattern. Look on the far right. You see that's the tip of it. You can actually see the ripples that it's causing. Well, look on the left now, right? They actually blocked this. This was like the first radar that I noticed they went behind me within like 48 hours, and they completely blocked it so you couldn't see it. But on the left, you're going to watch. On the left video, watch how it just splits the whole jet stream instantly. Tell me that one doesn't have to do with the other, and I will tell you that you've drank too much fluoride. Now, a lot of people have been seeing these, the spirals and the ripples lately. I will say this is more of a new phenomena that's been happening more recently. You may see it in a different color on a different radar thing where it looks more like a spiral rather than like somebody threw a rock in a pond. But understand, every single one of where these little ripples in the pond are, guess what's directly underneath it? One of those super rad towers. And look at this. A perfectly straight cow fart coming directly from the center of that ripple. That's a strange coincidence, huh? And you'll notice, usually your extreme weather is always where those ripples are, right? So you go. This is me pulling up another app showing you that they can hide it on one app, but they can't hide it across all the apps. And you don't even have to pay for them. You can just download all the free apps and then just check them all. And I guarantee you, you'll find something on one of the apps because they're doing so much, they really cannot hide it all. Later on, I will also show you, see these clouds exploding? I have coined a term called Cloudus Bombiculous. And clearly, those aren't natural. They'll be like, oh, that's inflow, that's outflow, that's the flux capacitor discharging the military chaff into a flock of butterflies. Perfectly reasonable explanation. Trust me, bro. Trust me. They pay me. I went to school, bro. Trust me on that one. Also, I'm pretty sure, if you are supporting these weather watchers that go around and chase tornadoes and get video for you, and they make tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars off the destruction of your homes, understand, all of those weather watchers, they seem charming and down to earth. They know, right? Because when I get to the farther videos in this, you'll see right where I am showing that they planned these areas of destruction, all of your weather watchers that you're paying subscriptions to, watch the ether get exploded. This is one of those hurricanes a couple years ago. I don't know if it's the one before or North Carolina. I don't think this one's North Carolina. I think this was either before or after, if I remember correctly. It was a couple years ago now, so. But you can clearly see the ether gets blasted, right? What do you want to bet that little demonic radar ship? Oh, look who I found in the clouds. Look who I found in the clouds hiding. Oh, it's very sneaky. Very, very sneaky, you hiding in the clouds. Yes, I see you. No, I have no shekels. So this was shot way up north in Maine, looking towards the north. This is what they call the Northern Lights, but not like any Northern Lights I've ever seen. Now, does this have something to do with the magnetic north moving at 55 kilometers per year? Does this have to do with some sort of supernatural city in the north? Does this have to do with some sort of, man-made climate change of some sort? And so here's the series of anomalies. You cannot catch this anomaly this easy anymore, right? Explain to me why we can't see the weather in the north. Why can't we see the weather in the north? What's the big deal? And clearly they're blocking it. It's not like there's not radar. We know they have radar up there. There's military bases all out throughout Greenland, northern Canada. And in the center one there, they're firing. It looks like they are firing the weather, and it is hitting something in the north, and it disperses. But this is what it used to look like. And then I started posting the videos, and then I couldn't even write the word north in a post on X anymore. They just kept kicking it back. Retry. And then I'd have to tell Elon he was the greatest Baphomet's champion or something. SpaceX is #1. Definitely gonna get through the firmament. #1. In order to get the video posted. But just to clarify, right, they'll be like, oh, today was a solar flare. That's why you see this. This is happening every single day, and it has been for 2 years. Why am I the only person on Earth that documented this? It was happening every day. And look, it's not like you have to be blind not to see that, right? Is it just me? Isn't it weird that little old me, nobody, with 1,000 followers at a time, I sent this to every major weather watcher. I won't name people by names. The people that I asked for help, that nobody gave me help. Because in the beginning, I was seeing all this stuff, and I was trying to figure it out, and I wanted help with the bigger picture. Because I didn't go to school, I didn't study this. Now in the middle, you're going to see this is what it looks like more today, right? You can still see there's some sort of anomaly happening, but they've blocked off a third of the map, straight blocked off. And they do something funky with like filters where they're going to add clouds and they kind of blur it out. But if you zoom in there right around Russia, Norway and stuff, you can go see right there. You see a little blacked out spot. So they're still hiding it. They just got better in the graphics department or hired somebody better in the graphics department. But still, every single day this is happening. Every single day. And it's also happening in Antarctica. Very similar ones, right where all those HAARP arrays are set up and various radar stations. Japan's got one called Pansy, but it ain't no pansy, let me tell you. Because wherever it's located, you can find it and then go look at radars and you can see giant blobs of insane energy being cow farted from them. Just tell me why. Tell me why we're not allowed to see the weather on the entire top half of the ball that we allegedly live on. Tell me why we can't see the weather at the bottom half of the ball that we live on. Can you explain that to me? Anybody? Anybody explain to me why we're not allowed to see the weather? Right? It's crazy to me. It's just crazy. So yeah, so you can clearly see they're getting better at hiding it, masking it, putting filters. They pretty much blocked off so much of the map now that they don't have to do as much. But you see that perfectly like straight line with the white cloud filters, and yeah, see that? You can tell that they've got filters on there. See? They have it split right there. It's because I have a fake filter over there with clouds and stuff. So because people like me, or just not people like me, just me. There's one guy I think on X who said his cousin saw something in Russia, but for the most part, I'm the only person on Earth that has been documenting this. I tried sharing it. Everything else I've ever really researched has either been stolen, copied, borrowed, whatever, you know. Not this. My false accusers and my haters, you don't see them disseminating these videos. They love to talk about the North. All the time they're talking about the North. You'd think they'd want to disseminate my videos, but I'm just a deceiver. I've come to deceive. I love you. So this is Antarctica. It's called Showa Station. SHOWA. Chinese station. Research station. If you want to know one piece of evidence that proves the whole world's a stage, even though we're going to war with each other, the fact that we are about to nuke each other, we're blowing each other up with all kinds of weapons, yet somehow we can all agree to protect the penguins and the ice, the alleged ice, in Antarctica, because I've done a whole bunch of research. Go ahead and look into how many oases there are in Antarctica. Start with the Mars oasis. But right here, you're going to see. And you can go see today. This was like a year and a half, maybe even around there 2 years ago. If you go to Showa Station now, all these antennas that are on the ground are now in place. And they have like 10 more additional ball radar things like that. It's crazy. It's just fields and miles and miles and miles of antennas. In a second, I'm going to hop over to the radar, and now you're going to get to see the effects of Nebro playing the harp and that cow fart energy. See that bubbling? It's quite just like the cow farts mounted on the planes, how it was boiling the ether and the clouds, right? And all the stuff that they're dumping, and then it explodes. Right here, directly underneath this bubbling cloud ether layer, right there, is all of those antennas. You're not going to tell me that one doesn't have something to do with the other. That's not what clouds look like. That's not how storms look. That's how boiling water looks. That's how water looks when it's blasted with cow fart frequencies. you know? I mean, I don't know if you're starting to get the point. Maybe this isn't very convincing yet, what I've showed you. Now, I promise you, what's coming here shortly is irrefutable. Absolutely irrefutable. See what that says right there? Oh boy, here we go. Speaking of Nero playing the harp, fully cloudy day, right? I used to have a whole bunch of cameras, security cameras, pointing up at the sky. But oddly enough, they got all this distortion. My hard drives kept getting corrupted. The videos were deleting themselves in real time. Watch, that is not how clouds disappear, my friend. Now, if you look on the radar, watch, or the satellite, you go on the satellite, and then boom, it just instantly dissolves all of those clouds. Absolutely bonkers. The sun has been different since that eclipse in April a while back. Something's different. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's au natural. I don't know if it's the stuff that they're blocking it with. I don't know. But it looks like they're adjusting the light there. And you can tell that it's not my lens or my focal or anything, because the clouds and everything else stays exactly the same brightness. It's just the sun getting brighter and dimmer. And now we're about to start the juice. Oh, yeah, I guess this is juicy. Juicy juice. Juicy farts. Juicy sharts coming out of the cow towers or the rad towers. Look at that. This is the thing I showed you earlier, but I just wanted to refocus on it before I jump into the... So I basically have the last hour of this is me breaking down exactly how they're using these cow farts coming out of the super rad towers to create planned destruction areas. Not warning areas, because we all know they are terrible at predicting the weather. They are a warning or a planned destruction areas. I will show you those Cloudus Bombiculous. Like, look at that. You can't tell me that that is not affecting. Right here, there's a nuke, right? Oh, somebody dropped a nuke in the ocean. But in reality, that's some cow farts, not car farts. That's what they say. They say it's car farts, but it's actually not cow farts either. But look at that. See the nuke going off in the ocean? This is what I call Cloudus Bombiculous. I figure they get to make up a whole bunch of scientific names. I get to make up scientific names too. Look at this. Someone just bombed the Caribbean with Cloudus Bombiculous. And as you will see in a second, it coincides with those super rad towers. Cool towers, bro, with square radar. Because that's cool. It's science. Oh, it's science. Everybody loves science. Yeah, trust me, bro. They're experts. I'm just a conspiracy factualist with 2 hours worth of evidence. Oh, here we go. You guys will probably remember this was like the sixth strongest hurricane. Now, many people are starting to catch on to this, and I'm very, very thankful, because I felt like a huge weight for a while, because there was only like a handful of us, and I was the only one that was actually, besides weather undergone there. But look at this. You got weather going in like every possible direction here. And what do you know? Bunch of cow farts. You know, they'll call that a radar reflection. Well, if it's a radar reflection, it needs to do some reflecting, because it's destroying people's lives. And the main reason I want people to understand how to read these, right, and check out the, like, if they put a warning area, understand they put that warning there for a reason. Not because they're predicting the weather, but because they're planning the weather. See what I'm saying? This is just so crazy right here. So, as you'll see in a minute, I will show, especially with the hurricane that drowned North Carolina, they were stalling the hurricanes and the storms over the Gulf. And if you know anything about how storms work, they love warm water. Right? You see that gap, and you're going to see a perfect triangle cone of cow fart gases or frequencies, you could say, coming from those super rad towers. But what they'll do is they'll stall it in the Gulf, and then they'll fire all these cow farts into that warm water, and it just creates Cloudus Bombiculus, right? And this is a crazy one. This is back when I had my cameras and they were still like not fuzzy, you know, but they basically put so much interference that all these cameras are just sitting in a box. Plus they wiped out a hard drive that had a bunch of pictures of me and my kid, lost like a few years of our life together in digital images. But I noticed on the cameras, these clouds would like start to form and then they just disappear. Start to form, disappear instantaneously. That's just not normal, right? And then you'll see, I go to the radars and the satellite. Look at this. You see all the ripples. Ripples. Look at that. They just, and guess where that focal point is, where that explosion of clouds just disappears? Right where the Brunswick super rad station is. And there's a little melty cloud up there for funsies. I did a couple HD stills here so you can just see. Yep. Initially I thought that was HAARP, but I think it's a lot of people mistake HAARP for what they're doing with the look at this perfectly right angle, because that's normal. And the way that I normally go down this little rabbit trail, I'd see one thing like that square cloud, and then I'd be like, oh, what's this little inclement weather thing around the radar? And then I noticed at nighttime, watch, they'll just fire all these. As soon as it becomes nighttime, you'll see one go on. See them? And all that stuff they were dumping during the day gets reactive, and it creates whatever they need to create. You'll see that I talk about popcorn fuzz, right? So there's two major functions, or three, that popcorn fuzz does. It can either strengthen the storm, aggravate all the stuff they've dumped in the storm, and make it more extreme. The popcorn fuzz can also stall a storm, right? So they'll compress a storm into one small area where that planned destruction area is. There we go. Bunch of cow farts. You can't see them anymore. That's like back in the day. But they don't let you just see those cow farts as easy these days. But like I said, they're doing so much. And I always said that in all my clips, right? And here we go again. I don't know if this was a hurricane, I think. It was one around that season. It was either going to be a hurricane or it was a hurricane. But you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with this popcorn fuzz. All the radars around the Gulf will have this popcorn fuzz, and it's stalling. See how it's spinning the storm? That one's actually firing a cow fart that's actually spinning it back. So what it does is it keeps the entire storm. Greg there from New Jersey, I think, he was talking about calling it the Gulf of Weather Modification, which I think is a great name. But see, as you go around the Gulf, see, that's the popcorn fuzz I'm talking about. Now, that can either stall, steer, or intensify the weather. But here, it is stalling the storm, so that storm stays out over the Gulf, right, and gains the most destructive moisture and power that it possibly can. I don't think this was the one that hit North Carolina, but the one that hit North Carolina, they did the exact same thing. They stalled it in the Gulf till it got enough moisture. Look at those cow farts. And you'll see here, right, when you see those frequency patterns in the clouds and you wonder where they come from, you'll see right around these radars, these super rad, super cool radars. Oh, yeah, this is when I pointed out that they had every single camera turned off around the Gulf. Now, they'll be like, oh, it's because of inclement weather. Yeah, because they're creating it, and they don't want you to see it. See this right here? They'll say that's a radar reflection, but it's very coincidental then I have over an hour of footage where you see a radar reflection, and then you see the extreme weather is in a direct straight line. Right there. Cow farts. Silent but deadly, my friends. Silent but deadly. You can't even smell them coming. Man, I cannot believe 15 minutes into this. Mind you, I've been putting this off for so many months. I mean, my health has been declining pretty bad lately. But I initially did a live called How's the Weather, and I taught people which apps to use, what to look for, and all that stuff. But they came for the connection so bad that I sound like a broken robot, and the picture was so blurry that I've needed to put it all back together. And I gained a lot more evidence since then. So this is where I do 2 videos where I'm covering the fires. Right here, watch this radar. Look at the cow farts it's firing, and what it does is it stops all the moisture. Because guess what's right behind that? A fire in California. All that moisture coming off the ocean is not making it to that fire because of the cow farts. Those freaking cow farts, bro. But all these super rad towers are working together in unison. Now watch. You can see right that that's where the fire is in California. And look what it's doing. It's creating a hole in the moisture. This is one where a friend had asked me to look into the fires in New Mexico a while back. You get your classic popcorn fuzz burning off the moisture right around where the area of the fire is, just like it was out in California, happened in Canada, many other places there are fires. You'll see this popcorn fuzz burning off the moisture. You got blacked out triangles leading back to the towers, many of those being fired directly towards the fire area. They're being fired in every direction, but definitely towards the fire, and they're definitely trying to hide them, but they're also using the old popcorn fuzz to steer this wind pattern. Notice here a totally blacked out radar where you can't see really much of it. More straight lines. It's either coming from the one in the north, but you got the popcorn fuzz. See how it stalls the weather right there? It compresses it, and then it intensifies. You're going to see that for the next hour as I go through every single one of my shorts with just endless amounts of evidence. You got hidden cow farts everywhere. You can see the faint lines coming straight from the towers. And you got the popcorn fuzz, popcorn fuzz, popcorn fuzz. See how it's whipping that wind through there? You know what else? You know, fires, they hate moisture, but guess what they love? Wind, right? So they got the other radars. They're all working in unison. Weather undergarden there on X. See, oh, frequency clouds. You know, when you look up and you see all those patterns, this is where they come from. Looks like an ocean wave or a frequency pattern or whatever. Like the cymatics that you see on those little plates. There's another hidden one of those cow farts where they just started just cutting out a black triangle. Like, oh, I mean, they won't see the bright, shiny energy coming from the tower, but we'll just cut this black triangle out. They won't figure it out. We increased the fluoride this month. I don't know what's going on with these radars around this military bases up here, but they're always blacked out and inaccessible. Look how fast it is whipping that wind and weather through there. Now you can see the popcorn fuzz, right? If I were to go on the other side of the storm, you would see that they would have all those going popcorn fuzz. Right here, they claim that these towers have no effect on the weather, but right there you could see a perfect circle being affected around where the tower is. More hidden cow farts being cut out as little perfect triangles. More hidden cow farts being pointed directly towards the fire. So this is a special one. This is one of the first ones where I finally pieced it all together. And I believe this ended up being the hurricane that flooded North Carolina that they still haven't fully recovered today. You're going to see every single one of these towers around the Gulf is doing the popcorn fuzz. And watch how the weather comes in and it just stops it dead. And it actually will spin it, right? Because there's a hurricane out there in the Gulf right now. And they're just spinning it and spinning it and spinning it. And once they sense that it has enough moisture, they end up steering it right up the East Coast, right? Because normally hurricanes, when they hit land, they disperse, right? They dispense. They get weaker. Well, they made sure this one was strong enough to make it all the way up to North Carolina. Make sure it didn't interfere. No civilians were going to enter. Wow, look at all those cow farts, right? You got popcorn fuzz stalling it out over the Gulf, and then you have cow farts being fired in the other direction. But this is not just a one-off, right? And there's more of your frequency clouds right next to the towers. And all that stuff you're seeing the frequency in, that's all the stuff that you saw at the beginning of the video, right? Oh, this is another big one. Remember that camp where all those girls got flooded out allegedly? And mind you, I know that, you know, people fake deaths and take off to breakaway civilizations. But this was the day before. I noticed there was just this giant hole in the weather pattern, and this is how it always would start. I'd just be sleuthing through the weather apps, and I'd be like, that doesn't look right. So I'd dig into further. I would open up other weather apps. And sure enough, what they're doing is they're using all these radars in unison. They create this dry zone. And now they have cow fart directed pew-pews firing into the Gulf, which is cooking off the moisture. And they're using all of these towers to pull that moisture from the Gulf, right? Just like they were doing with the hurricane, right? They stall it in the Gulf, create the Cloudus Bombiculous, fill it with moisture. Well, there was no hurricane in the Gulf. They're just cooking off the moisture, and they're sending it directly to where this camp was. And then on the left side, you will see, when I pull it up in a second, that they're using the towers on the west side of the camp to stop it from going too far west, and it compresses it, right? When they compress it into a small area, see right here, the popcorn fuzz. That's what that is doing. It's basically creating a wall, so all that moisture, they can steer it right to where they want it. And when you have a blacked out radar like this, where you can't really see anything, but you know there's weather there, yeah, that's because they're up to no good. You got more. This is right here. This is right that open spot and that I initially saw on the satellite, right? They're using these towers to cook off all that moisture. Oh, look at that perfect triangle. Watch the perfect triangle of severe weather that points directly back. When I told you those little triangles, the black triangles, see, look, watch how it follows it perfectly. They're going to say that's just a radar reflection. Look at that, another triangle pointing directly back to the tower. And I got another hour of this. I mean, you don't have to sit through the whole thing, but I'm telling you, you cannot deny what's happening. Look at that. Weather doesn't form in triangles, folks, naturally. It does not form in triangles. I'm sorry. Just not the case. Lots of cow farts. Cow farts everywhere. Cow farts are killing us. Cow farts are killing you. There we go. Look at that. You can see the severe weather following right along that line that goes back to the tower. The popcorn fuzz steers it. The directed cow farts create those planned areas of destruction. Right? They're not warning areas. They're planned areas of destruction. This is what I'm talking about. This is why this is going to be my final one, because I can't provide any more evidence. If this isn't enough evidence from this video, if another hour of me showing exactly the same thing is not enough, nothing's going to be enough, right? But the main reason I'm doing this, right, because I know they want to erode trust in man. They don't want you to trust the power structures, right? They want you to consent to AI. I don't want that. What I want you to know is when they put those boxes around your home or your business or where you are, understand it is planned. It's not like a prediction. They plan to destroy you. If you live in a state that has rare earth minerals, you live in a town that's near those rare earth minerals. If the citizens of your town or county, right? Look at that. They have that one pretty much blocked off altogether, but you can see all the little tiny directed cow farts. See all your little storm chasers? They know how to read this stuff. Oh, here's one of the best examples. A whole line of tornado warnings and an actual tornado perfectly where that cow fart is. Come on now. Perfectly where the cow fart is coming out of the tower. Directly related. I've caught that so many times, whether it's extreme hail, tornadoes, right? All of this stuff. Cow farts, man-made climate change. Turns out they were telling us the truth after all. Sorry, I'm a little hyped up here because I've been putting this off for months ever since they came from my live, but this is a lot of recording and I had to like put all this stuff together, remove the old audio because I had music, which I apologize if I'm lazy for some of the future ones and the music's a little bit loud. I mean, you can skip over those if you want. It's basically the same thing over and over and over again. If what you've seen in the last hour and 1 minute is not enough, stick around. You got 1 hour and 12 minutes left where I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you one piece of evidence after another, after another, after another, after another. Oh, that's a conspiracy theorist right there. I don't know what they're talking about right there. That's why I wrap myself in copper every night. I'm telling you, tinfoil is for amateurs. If you really want to stop her, you got to get the copper. Talking about EMF, that is. I know some of you are going to be disappointed that I've stopped making these, but I feel like enough people have finally caught on and bought. Look at that. Popcorn fuzz, stalling the storm. Popcorn fuzz, stalling the storm. Stalling it in the Gulf so it gains lots of moisture, so it comes to your house, floods you out. Then you have to pay to move on out. There you go. Stop. Do not come any further. You shall not pass. You shall not pass, storm. You shall not pass my popcorn fuzz. Tell you what, it's going to be a weight off of my shoulders when I finally hang up my weather modification cap. Look at those. I'm telling you, those ones in New York are crazy. You remember how I showed you earlier how it completely splits the jet stream? Well, they have another one that can simultaneously fire backwards right here. This one, I was looking at these weird Cloudus Bombiculous popping off on the satellite. So I went and dug a little bit deeper like usual. So understand that these cow farts, these frequency cow farts, they don't just affect the weather. Because you have to understand all that stuff that's creating the ripple clouds and the ocean clouds and the frequency clouds. We are breathing that, eating it, drinking it. Our pets are. So that means our bodies are full of that stuff. So imagine when our phone, right, is cooking this stuff. Because I remember that black magnetic stuff I showed you way in the beginning. When I brought my phone near that magnetic stuff, it went crazy. It wasn't like attracted to it like the magnet. It just went crazy. So it's no wonder my hands are being blasted by radiation and swell up like lobster claws. You know, look at this, perfectly straight lines. Oh, this is my old home. This is my home turf right here. Up in New England, getting the lobster. Extreme weather, perfectly straight lines going back to the tower. Perfectly straight lines. Very rare. They exist in nature, but usually not in storms. And it's a strange coincidence how I've gotten thousands of pieces of evidence. Look at that. More. See, they get better at hide. This is as some of these videos are not in like chronological order, but you can see how like some of them it's just clear as day, and then other ones you can see where it's like later on after I've already started putting out videos, and then they'll go behind me and they'll block the radars and they change the settings or whatever it may be. And here we go. Got more cow fart. Oh, there you go. Another straight cow fart going back to the tower. And I cannot believe I've been talking for an hour and 5 minutes. I hope you all appreciate this. This is my retirement video. I mean, I can't gather any. I can keep gathering evidence, and I can keep making videos. But I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is more than enough evidence here to show the same things over. It's one thing if you just catch it one time, right? And then those be like, oh, that's military chaff. Oh, that's just a radar reflection. Has nothing to do. It doesn't affect the weather. It doesn't bother the weather. Oh, look, bringing back them classic ripple clouds. Which one? I don't know which this one was. But also, wherever you see these ripple clouds, quite frequently, there's going to be a tower near it. And then also, your extreme weather is going to be right in that area, coincidentally. So many coincidences. So many coinkydinks. Oh, yeah, this one I woke up in the morning. Not only was my skin crawling, but my kittens were like going bonkers. So I was just like, let me check the radar. And sure enough, popcorn fuzz delight. Look at that. Just constantly full max power. All that nanotech and heavy metals just vibrating inside of me. Oh, I cannot wait to get in my detox bath in a couple of days. Again, you guys probably don't know, but the ones that do know, I thank you, because I started my health treatments yesterday. I still got a whole bunch more that are coming. My oil's getting delivered on Thursday, so I can start my detox baths again. I mean, the fact that I've been going for an hour and 7 minutes on this video talking, I'm like out of breath though. I feel like I've ran a marathon right now. But anyways, I don't know if it's just the stress of knowing that I can take detox baths again and turn my heat back up, and that, you know, these treatments did stabilize my immune system back about a year ago. I mean, I couldn't really afford them then. I just put them on the credit card, but I ran out of space on the credit card, so I definitely can't afford them now. So, but I don't know if it's a fluke of my imagination, but already just a few days in here, I feel like I'm feeling better. I mean, I haven't been able to do videos. Look at the straight, perfect lines going right back to the tower. Give me a break. Give me a break. You can't tell me that one doesn't have something to do with the other. I feel bad for Florida. I really do. And there's just so many radars in one localized area. Look at that. Perfectly extreme weather. And you can draw a straight line. That's not how weather forms. That's not how weather forms. Maybe if you had, it was just one straight line of weather one time, but look at that. You can see it follow the cow fart coming from the tower. On both sides. Right there. Extreme weather. That is focused cow fart energy. Focused frequency gas. You know? Again, silent but deadly. And here you're going to have some straight lines in the extreme weather. You got the classic popcorn fuzz. You see? They're trying to hide it, but you can see right where that cow fart shoots out from the tower. That's where your weather. And look at all your weather watchers. Those are the if you are paying those people, listen, if you are paying those people Understand, they see the same thing I'm seeing, but they're not telling you. Right? They're just going out and getting the hurricanes and the tornadoes. Whoa, dude, I just drove my truck through a nader, man. Shark naders. They are profiting off of your death and destruction. Just so you know that. So, and lying to you. And pretending like manipulation and man-made climate change doesn't exist. Right here, this one is another powerful one. But you can see where those lines are going right back to the tower. That's where your extreme weather is. And here's another radar image on a different app. Like I said, if you want to document this stuff, download all the free versions, right? Radar Omega, Windy, Zoom, I'm forgetting one, Ven2Sky, right? Download them all. And then get the NOAA app, the government ones, right? And then go to government websites. And then just look at them all. If you see something anomalous, go check all the other ones. This is my home state, and that's my home radar tower. That thing's frying me all the time. And I can seem to know. That's why I wear a copper blanket to bed. So I used to have a Faraday cage, but my kittens thought it was a climbing cage and a fun climbing scratch cage or whatever. Plus, I wanted to wrap my Wi-Fi router, which is in the very peak of my attic, as far away from as humanly possible, where I can just barely pick up the signal, and I turn it off 90% of the time. I only turn it on. Look at that New York one. Look at that. New York. New York. I was listening to an audio Bible there. That's why it says Geneva Bible at the top. But right there, you get that one in New York. You used to be able to see it clearly, and sometimes you can still see it, but that thing is powerful. I mean, I can't even imagine the people who live in those tall buildings, the high rises and the skyscrapers that live in the direct path. If that thing can split the entire jet stream, just imagine what it is doing to the heavy metals and nanotech in your blood. It's kind of mind-melting. It's a black pill for sure. But don't be depressed. Don't be afraid. Get on your face. Humble yourself before your Creator in a spirit of fear and trembling. Grab a hold of His garment. Because when you are weak, He is strong. Because when you are weak and helpless and seemingly hopeless, you just grab a hold of His legs like a little kid and let Him drag you with you. And that is when you are your strongest. And if you don't have faith, I strongly advise you and encourage you to try to find it, develop it, seek Him out. Because the millennia-long plan that's been in place, it's coming to an end. I don't know when, but not that far away. I am so out of breath. It's crazy. I apologize if I'm breathing in and out of the mic like a obese person right now. I'm so far from obese. I'm like the opposite. There you go. Classic popcorn fuzz. Oh, see those boxes right there at the top? See all those boxes? Those are your so-called warning areas. Now watch. Every one of these towers around those warning areas. Oh, see right there. That's Cloudus Bombiculous. Cloudus Bombiculous. Comes from the cow farts. See? Don't listen to what it writes on the screen. This guy's a crazy conspiracy theorist. But right here, you got your cow fart radar reflections, they claim, pointed directly at the planned area of destruction. It can't be any more clear-cut than this, folks. And mind you, I got another 50 minutes of this for you. If you stick around this whole way, I'd be very shocked. But if you're not convinced yet, please stick around. Because if this video cannot convince you, if there's not enough evidence here over the last 2 to 3 years, just look at that straight line of lightning perfectly over your planned destruction / warning areas. See down at the bottom there, I did the satellite. It's creating Cloudus Bombiculous. Looks like a nuke's going off. Do you remember the cow farts coming from the planes that created the nuke in the ether, right? Same thing. Same type of energy. Same type of fart power, right? Blast power. Blast radius. Whatever you want to call it. It has the same effect. Frequency is frequency. Popcorn fuzz? Watch. See? Planned destruction area. See, the weather gets stalled and pushed towards those boxes. See? It won't come anywhere near that tower. And you got your planned destruction. You got your straight line. See right there? Look how all that... See? It's steering it and compressing it because you got radars on both sides doing that. Look at that. More straight line cow farts. Look at how it's just like... Da, 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 da. Like if you were a machine gunner in the military, like da, 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 cleaning out your field of fire. Still can't believe I made it this long. But I'm just going to show you short video after short video. See, look at that. You see the cow fart coming out of the tower, and then you see the extreme weather just stick right to that perfectly straight line. And then you have the popcorn fuzz that's charging directly over the planned warning destruction areas. More straight lines in the lightning, more hidden cow farts coming out of the towers, right? And this was like one of the first instances of this. I've caught more. I call it July 4th. July 4th on the radar. Cow fart. The cows are out there just drinking beers, having some burger, or probably not having burgers, maybe some chicken sandwiches. But watch how the ether and all that stuff they're dumping in the skies. Look at that. Watch how it just explodes. Look at that. That is crazy. I wish somebody was in that area, was videotaping the sky in that moment, because I can only imagine how insane that looked. But look at all your weather watchers. Those were all those like little dots, right, with the little pictures and stuff. Look at that. Perfectly straight line. And if you follow those straight lines of lightning, straight lines of weather, they're always going to lead back to the radar. Every time. Look at this. They try to hide it, but they can't hide it. Look at that. Perfectly on there. They'll tell you that's a radar reflection that has no effect whatsoever on the weather. They're lying. They're absolutely, utterly, and completely lying about everything. But and now I'm going to show you again at the top. Look, Cloudus Bombiculous. See how there's just normal clouds, and then all of a sudden it looks like a literal nuke goes off. It's because everywhere around there, the towers are shooting cow farts directly into that planned area of destruction. Right there. Planned area of destruction, Cloudus Bombiculous, towers firing cow farts. This is one of the best examples right here. But I got another 40 or 50 minutes of it. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. I wish I could just stop right now. I know some of it has audio and music, and I apologize if I have to quit here because I do feel like I'm going to collapse here, but you're just going to get more and more and more of the same thing. Right there, look at that. Radar reflections, directed fart energy directly at your planned area of destruction. So this one, I felt bad because the day before, I knew there was some crazy storm stuff happening. But I waited till the next day. And see this? Remember the popcorn fuzz? The popcorn fuzz? Sorry, I'm not editing the audio on this either. No way. I'm not listening to myself for 2 hours. I won't even release it if I do that. So, you know, Florida's passed all these laws. No cloud planting, no cloud farming. More straight lines of inclement weather that go right back to the radar. What a coinky dink. But anyways, a whole bunch of lives got destroyed. I think it was South Carolina this time. Pretty much every state's been on the chopping block for the last few years. But look at this. Just cow farts in every direction. Totally normal cow farts coming out of the towers. And look, I mean, it's not like there's extreme weather directly where that cow fart radar reflection is, right? It's not like I haven't just showed you 150 times already, right? I love you. But I'm telling you, if you are a naysayer and you like, this is not enough, I don't know what's going to be enough. You can see it being fired from the radar, see, going down towards the islands. Nowadays, they just turn off all the radars. You see the red dots. If you see a red dot or an orange dot, that means they've either delayed the radar or shut it off completely and turned off all the features. Look at that, Cloudus Bombiculous being formed in real time. You see those hot spots over the ocean? It's because those cow farts are just bubbling the ocean. Underwater cow farts. Look at all those Cloudus Bombiculous. Right where I just showed you all of those energy-looking radar reflections. Cloudus Bombiculous. So here we go. Brunswick, Maine. There you go. Another radar reflection with extreme weather in a straight line going directly back to your radar. Glitches, they say, just anomalies. Totally natural. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Just go watch your sports. Pour a cool glass of Flora. Oh, geez. You can tell that I'm getting exhausted here. Lack of oxygen. So this is how it always starts. I see something weird, and then I start digging further, and then I find out. And this is me showing it's not just the United States that this is happening to. Here's China. China has some of the craziest stuff. They just wild out. But watch these two hurricane tropical storm systems perfectly in unison come and follow the entire coast of Japan like they're in a military formation on marching orders. It's crazy. And then in Southeast Asia, all these radars still doing the exact same thing. This is a Earth-wide phenomenon. It's not just the United States. This, I don't even know what that is. I've never even seen words on the radar like that before. I'm not really sure what that means. Could mean nothing. I just thought it was weird. And I'm weird. So, weird begets weird. I really hope that people appreciate this. I mean, I'm so shadow banned, partially because of these. I have like almost 4,000 followers on X, and I'm lucky if I get like 50 to 100 views on some of these posts. These are some of the most, this is definitely in my top 4. Cloudus Bombiculous, my favorite. And for those of you out there that do this, feel free to carry on the tradition. I will bequeath Cloudus Bombiculous to you. You can take the rights to trademark whatever you want. Feel free to steal it. It's all yours. Use it all you want. Because I think it is the best description. If they get to make up new names for their manipulation, man-made climate change stuff, then we should get to make up ones. And that one's way cooler than the ones that they make up, you know. I also came up with like ManMade-iCanes clouds. You know, I'm sure you can understand what that one means. You know the deal. Here we go again. I noticed these little volcanoes of weather erupting around Pennsylvania. And there we go. More hidden cow farts coming out of the towers. There's one that's not so hidden. This one here looks like it's actually pulling moisture back onto land, while the other weather pattern is going the opposite direction completely. But that's right by that giant, look, I was just going to say that's right where the big one in New York is, and I forgot that was in that video. But you can see, that's the second time that one off of New York completely splits the jet stream. And I've seen it do it in like just a couple of hours. They flip it on, and the entire eastern seaboard, one goes north and creates the nor'easter pattern. If you live in New England, you know what a nor'easter is. It basically means instead of the weather coming from the west, it spins up from the ocean and from a northeastern direction. We got the popcorn fuzz stalling the storm, and you got your little planned destruction areas. You see the boxes? Popcorn fuzz stalls it, compresses it, and notice you got these perfectly straight lines of lightning, and you follow it, and look where it goes to. Right back to that little dot, which is a tower. Those really super rad towers. Super rad, bro. Wow. And these scalar waves, I'm guessing is what they are. I don't know scientifically. But what happens when you combine too much power with two towers, see what happens? It just creates this massive explosion of weather. I know I've apologized a few times. Just like this is like the first time really in the last few weeks I've been out of bed. But here we go. Tornado warnings, extreme weather warnings, right? And then you got your cow farts coming out of the towers. Everywhere around these boxes in a giant circle, you're gonna see the towers shooting straight lines or creating the popcorn right there. See it coming out? You see that? Those, they call them radar reflections, I'm telling you. But clearly, I mean, how many times do you have to see a radar reflection strafing the planned or warning areas, the planned destruction areas, as I like to call them? How many times do you have to see that before you like understand that I'm not just talking out of my butt like a cow? You know what I mean? It is going to be a huge weight off me. I'm just counting down the minutes here. Got 50 minutes left. You know I love you all, right? I feel like I just ran a marathon. But here you go. Classic popcorn fuzz. And you got the there. Look at that. Look at that. That's a clear-cut example. Going straight back. Look at that. I mean, you just can't. I don't know. I mean, how? I can understand if I made like a 2-minute video and you just saw this one time. Maybe you don't buy it. But after an hour and a half, look at more scalar waves. You see how they hit? They're coming and they hit, and then they form that giant extreme weather pattern. You see the direct Star Trek tractor beam. Look at that. One after another, after another, after another. Cloudus Bombiculous. That's what creates it. When you fire a whole, like, you know, that TV show Captain Planet, with our powers combined, we summon Captain Planet or whatever, which is probably demonic, now that I think about it. But that's basically what's happening. You got a circle of radars doing a little ritualistic energy firing of cow farts towards the planned destruction areas. Here you go. Classic popcorn fuzz creating the see on the satellite down below, when you see those weird ripple clouds, the popcorn clouds, it's because of these towers putting out a specific frequency that either causes like an ocean wave, like a popcorn effect, or look at this. See the lines? That's what's causing it right there. That is exactly what's causing it. All that stuff in the sky, right? Those aren't normal clouds, by the way. This is all various materials, heavy metals, nanotech, smart dust that can be controlled with specific frequencies. And I always say I'm sorry to Florida because, I mean, I feel so bad for Florida because they get everything that comes off the Gulf. They have more radars in a smaller area than probably any other place in the United States besides like New York area. And they're all insanely powerful. Insanely powerful.
Oh, I can't even imagine what it's like to be on the ground. But as you can see in the Gulf, you got Cloudus Bombiculous, and that's where all those little hidden Radews were pointed. What a coinky dink, huh? What a coinky dink. Cloudus Bombiculous. Mark it down. It's a new scientific term. You're welcome to use it. I truly do pray for you guys in Florida because, I mean, aren't you guys so happy that they got the fluoride out of the water? Yeah, only to just dump 1,000 times the density of toxins into the sky, and then what do? They flip on the microwaves and they fry you. Because if you don't think that stuff's getting into your body, you are mistaken. And yeah, just imagine if it's doing this while it's in the sky, imagine what it's doing to you point blank range on the ground next to the radar. Yeah, we got more hidden dews. They are getting very good at hiding these. They're making it really blurry and staticky, but look, it's this simple. Multiple dews pointed at a location, and you get the Cloudus Bombiculus. Boom, boom, right? Just like I showed up there in the ocean, just like I'm about to show here in southern Florida. Yeah, and these radars in Florida are going crazy. The last week or so, it's just been steady insanity down there. So I really can only imagine. My heart really does break for you. As you can see, the dews are just going wilding out here down in southern Florida. And you can see more straight lines of weather going right back to where the radars are. They try to like block it out or hide it. And here you're going to get, when microwaves collide with all that cloud seeded material, you're going to get this Cloudus Bombiculus effect. Some would say it's a scalar wave or whatever. And whatever it is, it's not good for you on the ground, period. And it is not good for your health. And it's just generally not good because the people who run things are just generally not good. And as you can see here on the satellite, watch. Boom! Cloudus Bombiculus. Pew, pew, pew. That's all these clouded seeded materials, cloud planted materials, right? Look what the radars are doing to it while it's in the sky and miles away. So imagine what it is doing to your body a couple 100 feet away. Here we go again. I noticed one thing, which happened to be this perfect right angle in the clouds. And again, one thing led to another. Took a little closer look. We had some frequency clouds, and wouldn't you know, that radar has the exact same 45-degree angle, but they'll tell you that one has nothing to do with the other, right? Just a mere coincidence. I'm sure they have some scientific name to cover up their weather manipulation. This is some of the most intense cloud planting operations I've seen in a minute. Look at that. It's just a web. All poisons right there. That's what's going in your lungs. That's what's going in your water, your kids, your pets, your garden, you name it. They are trying to poison and kill you. And if not kill you, destroy your home and force you into a 15-minute city, make you dependent on the state. Either way, they're trying to destroy or kill you. I mean, what is it really gonna take for people to open their eyes and see? Because if you can't see this above your head, I don't know what to do. More Cloudus Bombiculus just exploding. They'll say that this is some sort of cold air nonsense. I don't know what they'll say, but it's just nonsense. I promise you they're lying, because that's not natural. And in a few seconds, I will show you exactly what's causing this Cloudus Bombiculus, right? Because many of us have seen this all over the place. They quite frequently do this to charge the storm up with moisture, because everybody knows storms love moisture. And look, you'll see, we got Radews, it's like I call these, not radars, they're Radews, because they're firing directed energy weapons. Perfect straight lines going back to the radar. You can clearly see that those radars are causing the Cloudus Bombiculus. Then you got the classic popcorn fuzz that's stalling the storm while the Radew charges it up with moisture, right? And then what they'll do is they'll flip these things in the other direction, and they will suck that storm onto land and flood out your home, flood out your neighbors, the ones you love, the ones you care about.
Here we go, more popcorn fuzz, stalling the storm. You got little barely hidden there, or barely visible. They're trying to hide them, but they can't hide them all. And then you got your little frequency waves off to the left, right? But they stall the stuff up with the dews. Make sure it's got plenty of destructive moisture. Here we go again. Another perfect straight line going back to the radar. They'll say this is a radar reflection.
Yes, this is a radar reflection.
Yeah. How about you look in the mirror and reflect on your lies and who it is you're serving? And i.e. that means Hasatan, Satan, evil himself, right? That's who you serve. Don't trust the community notes. Don't trust your weatherman. There's no scientific term for this other than murder. Murder. That's what it is. Murder and destruction of property, theft of your life, theft of your health, and all of these things. Please, wake people up now before it is too late, because very soon it will be too late. Love you. So forgive me, some of the stuff with music is some of the original audio from the last 3 years. Sometimes I was in a tired or a sick or a little frustrated spot, but look at this. This is one I called 4th of July. 4th of July. But sorry for repeating myself about the stuff going into your body. Never medical advice, but you might want to look into various detox protocols, you know. Never medical advice. Just detoxing is good. The body, you don't want toxins in your body. It's just natural common sense. More straight lines going in the, see those little boxes? Little planned destruction. But anyways, so I apologize because I am seriously running out of steam here. And, you know, I know people get frustrated when the music's loud, and, you know, it's been a process as I've been learning as I learned how to do this. And like I said, these aren't in chronological order. So some of the music is a little bit loud, but I think that there's enough of them without music and just audio and you listening to me ramble on to where you get the picture, right? And so I just want to apologize for if I repeat myself, because it's 3 years worth of shorts, and, you know, I just kept saying the same things over and over again because all the naysayers would come in. Even the people that do the weather stuff weren't really taking these seriously. They are now. I see people posting videos all the time, but I'm just glad people are catching on. I'm not telling you not to document this stuff because people do need to wake up. But I mean, if this video in this amount of evidence, if 2 hours and 14 minutes worth of evidence like this, I mean, you know, look at that hole. Guess what's right there? Guess what's right there where that hole is? I bet you it's not a radar tower. No, because those are just passive. You see how I drew those lines? They keep, that's a large warning area. All the popcorn fuzz around it, right, is compressing the weather. You're going to have cow fart directed frequency energies being blasted in that direction from the cow holes, right? But that's, whenever you have those circles and areas, understand it's not a warning area, right? They're not predicting it. They're planning it. You see this? The center part right there, that's the most severe area. And you can see that tower is causing it to just stop. And when all the weather from various angles, and then you can see it, they can't hide it completely, but firing right towards that area. Straight lines, more straight lines. You follow the straight line. Look, it goes right back to a tower. Every single time. Every single time. 3 years worth of this stuff.
And understand that it's not cow farts and diesel engines, and they're not weather geniuses that decipher the mathematics and figure out where these severe weather systems are going to be. They know where they're going to be because they're the ones creating them. So have a blessed day, and I boat. Yeah, so somebody tagged me with this demon face in the satellite, so I was gonna go to bed, but I had to go look a little deeper real quick and look at that popcorn clouds. Pop, pop, pop. Snap, crackle, pop. And then I saw the old Cloudus Bombiculous. There we go. Looks like someone's dropping nukes on Florida. Snap, crackle, pop. And boom. So let's check out these radars. What a coincidence. Look at that. More radar reflections. More radar reflections. That's what the weatherman will tell you. Yeah, and they're lying. Check out these scalar waves. There's multiple radars. See that red dot? That means to shut it off because they don't want you to see the active radar. So it's a little bit, it's like 30 minutes old, but there's a reason why they turned it off. It's not for routine maintenance. And sure enough, look at this. Whoa! They got these cranked way up. That's why you got all this. That combined with all the stuff they're dumping in the sky, that's what's creating your popcorn clouds. Look at that. Pop, 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 pop. Yep. Got rocks. Yeah, so it's no wonder they got demon face in the clouds, seeing that they're tapping into the demonic energy here to fry you guys in Florida. Look at these radars. They are just popping off. And when they hit each other, right? Boom, boom. Goes the Cloudus Bombiculous. Scalar waves. Orlando's getting slammed right now. This next radar's going so hard it's about to take flight. Check this out. You can almost hear the propeller started. Oh, I'm sorry, Florida. And the southeast there. They are frying you to death right now. Yeah, I got tagged because guy was experiencing headaches and such. Yeah, no wonder. Because they're literally cooking you alive. It's basically like sticking your head inside of a microwave at max wattage. We should try to defrost our friends and family, wake them up. And Florida man, it's not the bad meth, it's the Radeews. Hey. Sorry for the repetitiveness of these lessons, but I'm going to keep giving them until I feel comfortable that people understand that this is not a figment of my imagination. Cloudus Bombiculous. Alright, here we go. Warning area equals planned destruction. Alright, we got a little faint dew being fired from the south. Okay? While the static corn fuzz there is stalling the storm, right? Compressing it into one small area, which is intensifying it. They are getting better at hiding them, but like I said before, they're doing so much that they really can't hide it all, okay? But you will notice I'm gonna go around this entire area and you will see that they're uniformly firing directed energy into this one area, which is creating your Cloudus Bombiculus, an explosion of the ether in combination with the various materials that they are dumping into the skies every day. And more faint dews being fired, and more. You can see that one following right along the path of the faint dew. Right, that's not naturally occurring. And more dews all being fired towards that one area. Look how the lightning is perfectly staying within inside that warning, quote, warning area. Warning equals planned. Look at this perfectly pie-shaped Illuminati evil controller produced dew being fired in that same direction, north, south, east, west, right? And we got the classic stall and charge. I don't know how many times I have to show this, but if you do care about waking people up to this, My videos are shadow banned. I got nearly 3,000 followers, and I'm lucky if they show it to maybe 20 or 30 people. So no one's gonna see these unless you share them. So if you do care about people waking up, now this one they didn't hide very well at all. You can clearly see the Dews firing directly at that planned area of destruction. There it is, Cloudus Bombiculous. That's how you get it, folks. Boom goes the Cloudus Bombiculous. Dew-op, dibby-bop-ba, dew-op, yeah. So, cool. That concludes today's lesson on how many ways are they trying to kill you.
I see clouds of white, chemtrails too. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill you. And I think to myself, are they ever gonna wake?
Hey, we are back with another installment. Are you going to wake up? Here we go. We'll start off light with some nice frequency clouds. Come on, ride the wave. And we're going to jump right into some dews. Look at that. Boom, boom. Dew-op, dew-op. This stuff needs to stop. Extreme dew weather. Look at that. I'm sorry if you live there, because they're trying to destroy your homes, destroy your lives. They do not care about you. They either want you dead or submissive. All right, here we go. We got a little dew firing to the north there. You see those little warning areas? I go over this pretty much every time, but those warning areas, right, it's not a coincidence. That is where they are planning the destruction. Right, so they'll fire multiple directed energy weapons at those boxes. That's how they know that's where the weather's gonna be. Right, you got all these storm chasers that are making hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. How much are they making, right? They're making bank off your death and destruction, right? They're not weather wizards or whatever. Here we go. More hidden dews pointed right at your planned destruction boxes. Yeah, do not trust their official explanations, whether it's radar reflections or some scientific term. This is planned, orchestrated, and designed, right? There is a plan here. It's not natural. It is the farthest thing from natural, right? Because if it's not the directed energy weapons, it's the stuff they're dumping in the sky that reacts with that directed energy. And if it's not reacting like this gigantic shockwave, that's real-time speed of a shockwave caused, right, by multiple directed energy weapons colliding. Yeah. And I promise you, on the ground, and you who live in that area, you know what I'm saying. That's not natural, and I'm sure that it didn't turn out great. More warning areas, i.e. planned destruction boxes. A little hidden dew there, pointed straight back to the radar. What a surprise. Surprise, surprise. This is so much fun. Yeah, look at this. Oh, how cute. I make these videos and they're like, oh, well, maybe if we just black out the spot, they won't know. He can't make videos if we black it out, right? They're that retarded, right? We've fed them so much fluoride, they won't realize that's exactly where the dews were in his last 100 videos. Anyways, yeah, see the little blacked out areas? Those are the dews, and that's their best attempt to try to hide them so myself and others do not continue to make videos. Look at that straight line of lightning, right? Those boxes, the planned destruction areas, right? I went over the Cloudus Bombiculous 4 or 5 times now. Maybe 400 or 500, I don't know, I've lost count. Oh, I see you right there. Boom. I mean, what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for people to see what is happening here? right? Straight line of weather, boom, right back to the radar. Radeew is probably a better term to call it. And I apologize if you are offended by the length of these videos, but most people can't seem to track the speed of my autistic brain, so I've tried to slow things down so that people can track and see and not use it as an excuse to not accept what is happening here. Oh, I see Dew 2, homie. Pointed right at the planned destruction area. What a surprise! Alright, here we go. What's next? What's next? Oh boy. Surf's up, my brah. Come on, ride the wave, man. Ride it right to the grave, brah. Yeah. So when you look up and see those frequency patterns in the sky, yeah, that's what's causing it right there. Your Radeew-induced waves. Directed energy is fired from multiple locations. Sometimes it creates these insane shock waves of extreme weather. And this is real-time speed. So that is a wall cloud or whatever explanation they want to call it. That's pretty insane to be traveling that fast. Look at it. I mean, that's not natural. It is just not natural. It's normal now, but it's not natural. I can assure you of that. I love you folks, and that's why I continue to make these videos. For whatever reason, my creator has given me the eyes to see this and the time to make the videos. Hoping that you can share these with your friends and your family, those of you who are already on board, and maybe you can wake a few of them up, because if we don't wake people up now, gonna be any people to wake up. They're gonna take most of us out. But this is the result. Again, I'll go back. Look at these shock waves, the Cloudus Bombiculous, the popcorn clouds. Wake up before it's too late. Looks like Canada's on the chopping block tonight. There's a bunch of strange holes in this weather pattern, but that's not really what caught my attention. And again, you got red, orange radars, which means they're delayed or they're shut off with less features because they are trying to hide something. But this is new. What that looks like to me is a whole bunch of smart dust or something they've dumped in the sky being activated with the radars, and it is going every single direction all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. And we got a little bit of a hidden dew here. You can see where they've blocked out half of it, but you can still clearly see it is a straight line coming right from the radar. And the one right next to it, it's got another hidden dew pointed straight out there trying to hide it. But look how fast that weather is moving. That's real time. That's extremely fast. More frequency clouds, ripples in the sky. These radars here are around some pretty top secret military bases, and they are usually off, or you just can't access at all, or it's very, very limited. But again, I will reiterate that these radars are going nuts up there. I can't even imagine what it's like on the ground. If you live in that part of Canada, or you know somebody who's living in that part of Canada, yeah. And again, I just want to point out that the dews, these straight lines of weather pointing right at the warning areas, or what I like to call the PDs, planned destruction areas, right? Because that's where they've planned, right? That's where they've planned to fire the dews from multiple angles, which causes the severe weather, which causes the destruction, hence planned destruction. More hidden dews. Gotcha. I mean, they're getting better at hiding it, but like I said, they're just doing so much, right? They're doing so much that it is impossible for them to hide it. Look at that. What a coincidence. The hidden dew is pointing right at the warning area. What a coincidence. Oh my goodness. It's just a radar reflection. That's what the weatherman says. you go ahead and have that cool glass of fluoride if you want. You can listen to the weatherman, you can listen to your paid storm chasers, right? Your big channels that blow up overnight, hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers and tracking the tornadoes, and they're like, oh yeah, power flash, yeah, power. This is planned destruction, inclement weather. These people are profiting off it, or they're just on destroying your life, because you're going to lose your home, and guess where you're going to head? 15-minute city.
Well, grand rising, folks. I apologize for the congestion, but there is a heavy toxic fog outside, and from my video earlier, I'm a little congested. And here we go, Cloudus Bombiculous, and this is just more clear-cut evidence that these are Radews, not radars, as in directed energy weapons like this one are being fired out of the radar stations. And in order to get those large clusters, the Cloudus Bombiculous, right, you fire multiple of these Radews in the same location, and you get, boom, Cloudus Bombiculous. Here we go. They have gotten better. See how they blur out that little red area so you can't see the defined lines of the dews, but you can still see them. And they're all pointed directly at the severe weather, right? And again, I will show you that there's a little warning box, you know, heavy air quotes on the warning. They almost got this one almost entirely blocked, clearly, because they're doing something shady with it. And there you go, more perfectly straight lines that lead back to the radar. What a coincidence, man. That's just a radar reflection. That is just a bisymmetrical exception of reflection and refraction, sir. Okay, it's perfectly normal explanation for that, sir. Anyways, what a coinkydink. More Radews pointed towards your planned destruction box there. And again, here you're going to see more straight lines, perfectly straight lines. Those are pointed right back to your various Radews in the area. It's just, I don't know how much clearer it needs to be. Like, how clear does it need to be? Do they literally have to come out and just tell you, hey, we're using directed energy weapons to destroy your homes and your lives and to force you into 15-minute cities to convince you that biblical prophecy is happening? More straight lines, back to the Radew, more straight lines. So much fun. This is not natural. And I apologize, it's 5:55 in the morning, and I'm dog sitting. My dad's old dog, and I got 2 kittens that are recovering from surgery, so, yeah. I apologize. But anyways, here we go, popcorn fuzz. That's your stalling and steer mode, and every single one of these on the outside of this little severe area where the Cloudus Bombiculous is, well, you'll see on the satellite in a second, all of these are on steer and compress mode. And here we go, more hidden dews. Like I said, see how they try to blur it out now so you can't see the perfect lines? But yeah, there's your result. It looks like a nuke goes off.
Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. It's fine. The TV man said so. Authority definitely has our best interests at heart.
Nothing to see here, folks. Pour yourself a nice cold glass of fluoride, watch some sports, and...
Hey, it's been a while, but, you know. Anyways, so, here's the participation radar, and you'll notice this strange star pattern in the precipitation, because, you know, star patterns in precipitation are totally natural, right? Oh, what a coinkydink. So when we actually look at the radar there's a perfect star pattern basically being fired from that radar that's creating a perfect star pattern in the precipitation. Cool, right? But I mean, it's all just a conspiracy theory, right? Totally natural straight lines in the weather. And keep in mind, you saw that pulse at the end? Watch how crazy this one looks. You're gonna see a perfect arch right as the system comes up against that radar. You're gonna see those little arc waves, the rippled clouds or whatever you want to call it. So this is from about a year or two ago, and this is what the radars used to look like before people like myself started exposing them. Pretty gnarly, right? Now this is from Storm a little while ago. Crazy coming out of Maine there, off the coast of Maine, and you will see here shortly I will show also Boston's radars doing some crazy stuff where the weather's going out to the ocean, but it seems like crazy ripple clouds coming back against the storm right in the vicinity of those radars. Another coinkydink, huh? Total coincidence, totally natural. Nothing to see here. Just submit to authority and trust Mr. TV Man, because of course they have your best interest at heart. And here's the precipitation map, and you will see right where those radars are whiling out, you're gonna see your worst severe precipitation. Crazy, right? Crazy conspiracy theorists we are. No evidence, just lost in the outer realms or whatever they accuse us of. But anyways, so I'm gonna go to New York now, and hello my old friend. One of my first videos where they went behind me and blacked out the radar was showing these giant things off in New York. They'll tell you, oh, that's just the radar reflection. Totally natural, just a glitch. Well, I'm going to show you some historical footage here off of New York in a minute. That's going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are not just radar reflections and directly affect the weather patterns. So this is the historical footage, and you will see this is one of the most powerful dews coming out of these Radews, as I like to call them, because they're not really radars, they are Radews. You can see here, this Radew splits the jet stream in half and completely changes the whole weather pattern in a matter of probably hours. As soon as they flip that thing on, watch, it will completely split it in half. Everything south will go south, and everything north will create the north, what they call the New England and nor'easter weather pattern. And this was one of the first ones that I picked up on, that they went right behind me and blacked it out on the radar, because you could clearly see it before on all the different versions of the radar. Right here you could see it, and you can see that right where those things are being fired off, you got inclement weather. This is your precipitation map. So they are directly connected. So I noticed just south of Syracuse this little pop-up. What do you think the odds are that there is a radar right there? What do you think? Huh? Just throw out a number real quick. Oh, look at that. Exactly where that precipitation bubble popped up the severe weather. Another coinkydink. Now, they'll tell you this is just natural lake effect snow forming this perfect arch. What do you think the odds are that there's a radar forming a perfect arch? Would you look at that? That's crazy, right? And as we go north here, you will see a very interesting feature that they try to hide those beams coming out of the radar, like I've showed multiple times, that they just black it out so you can still see it clear. See right there pointing towards that severe lake effect snow, right towards that other radar. Black it out like you're not going to notice it, but you can still clearly see it's being fired from that radar towards the severe weather. So yeah, they've gotten better at hiding it, but so much that they can't hide it all. Mercy, grace, and blessings. Love you all.
Hey, I'm getting this one out to you early because it seems like some of you have been smacked. We got Cloudus Bombiculous popping off all off the East Coast, south of Florida, and in the Gulf. And it's just a coincidence, they say, that these directed energy weapons fired out of the radars happen to be pointed directly, you know, in the direction of the Cloudus Bombiculous. You know, they don't correlate or connect in any way, right? totally a coincidence, and I call these my firework inflows now. It's my new name for them. Just these, it looks like a firework going off. Yep, we got the popcorn fuzz, we got Dews fired off all along the radars here. They got most of this one blocked off, but they missed the Dew-op, Dew-op, all over the place. And yeah, all those Cloudus Bombiculous. What a coincidence that all those Dews are happen to fire directly at that location where the ocean is being literally boiled to where it looks like it's exploding. In New York, as per usual, Big Apple, Big Dew. And the popcorn fuzz in unison with the Dews. Boom, boom, boom. Nova Scotia's always popping off. They've mostly hidden it, and you can see they're pulling all that moisture that they're boiling right onto land. And this is the area that is really crazy right now. They got every Dew in that area firing off. You get your concentric circles. So if you live in that area, just be prepared, please, because it's going to be pretty crazy. That's a lot of moisture they're cooking off down in the Gulf. And it's not just planes doing the seeding. There's tons of ships going around doing seeding as well. Most people aren't aware of that. Now for the really crazy section here, we got the Dews firing off. You get your straight line lightning, and all of these radars are firing in those locations. And look, your warning areas, it's not because they're super complex quantum computers have solved the matrix of weather or whatever. It's because they plan to do the weather there. They plan to fire the directed energy weapons, do the frequency, popcorn fuzz, whatever you want to call it. Get some hidden Dews here. Get a little cross section of Dews, causing this just solid block of lightning there. And the popcorn fuzz on the north side is basically stalling all that moisture. They're going to make it as powerful and as damaging as possible. They're going to pick up as much moisture as they can, damaging winds and front yard, and wash your yard away. And then these other Dews on top are compressing, keeping it down, and then the top part of the radar is actually forcing the weather east to the north, so it's causing that circular pattern there, and more Dews being fired in there. It's so clear, it's so obvious. Anybody who says their radar reflections is either compromised, has drank too much fluoride, or is an Agent Smith. That's just the facts. If you live in this area here, they are also pulling moisture from the Gulf, that freshly boiled moisture. You'll get more of these firework inflow. I don't know what to call them. It looks like a firework going off, but it ain't natural. It is unfortunately normal now, but it's not natural. Despite what these weather chasers or storm chasers or whatever. More straight lines leading back to the radar, right? More popcorn full. Boom, boom. Shake the weather. Anyways, Dews everywhere, boiling the oceans. It's just everywhere, folks. Like, I don't know what else I can show you to prove to you that this is not a coincidence. These are not glitches or just random anomalies. Got more fireworks going off. If you're in the Carolinas, on the East Coast, southern East Coast, you got more moisture coming in today. If you're on the Gulf Coast, you got more coming to you. Have a wonderful day. Grand Rising, folks. This one's from yesterday. Apologize I didn't get it to you sooner. Between the stray kittens we just rescued and my father being injured, I couldn't get it out to you last night, so I apologize to all those who were flooded yesterday. So here we go again. We got hidden Dews, we got straight lines. Look at that. Boom. All the way back to your warning area. Frequency clouds, they're cooking St. Petersburg. I've never seen this radar pop off like that before, but they're cooking the moisture in the ocean, they're spinning it back onto land, which then destroys your home, your life, your family, your friends, and your neighbors. This is not natural. It may be normal, but it is not natural. These are not radar reflections or birds or whatever, and that right there, it's not natural. Get your classic frequency clouds mixed in there. You know when you look up and you see these geometric patterns, or it looks like ocean waves in the sky, or if you see the surface of the water on a perfectly calm day, showing geometric patterns. Yeah, so that's why. But here we go. They're boiling the Gulf again. More dews pointed directly at your severe weather warning areas, or severe weather. Right there. They try to hide it, but they can't hide it all because they're just doing so much of it. Looks like they're using this one to whip the weather, pulled all that moisture that they just boiled off the ocean onto land and compress it into one area. More of your frequency clouds, more frequency clouds. And you can see there's a little straight line going down towards that little warning area, going straight back to the radar. Yeah. How many times do we have to see this before we realize that that is not just a random occurrence, and it's because it's being fired from the radar? And it's also combined with whatever frequency is being blasted here that makes all these crazy colors. And you can see there's your warning areas, not because they're weather geniuses, but because they planned to put the severe weather there. And North Carolina, South Carolina, this entire area, this one, popcorn fuzz intensifying, just exploding all those little warning areas. And then you can see another straight line of lightning going right back to your radars. There's one there and there's one right below it. And look at that, combining it with that classic popcorn fuzz stall and explosion of weather. Yeah, that's why you flooded out, right there. Deep breaths. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? They are getting better at hiding those dews, but they can't hide them all. Mercy and grace to all of you. What's up, my fellow conspiracy factualists? Y'all ready to go on another ride? First, I noticed these little concentric circles again, so I did a little digging, and look at that, some Cloudus Bombiculous clouds. That's a scientific term. And wouldn't you know, more of those so-called radar reflections, i.e. dews, being fired directly towards where the old Cloudus Bombiculous are exploding. Very strange coincidence, my friends. Look at the colors on that thing. So we got our popcorn fuzz, right? Stalling and steering as per usual. And then we got a little, they tried to hide those dews, but I see you. And what else we got here? We got some dew charging, little popcorn fuzz steering. There's some straight lines in there. Oh, a little right angle too? Interesting. Whenever you see these straight lines, I'm telling you, do a little digging, and I guarantee you're gonna find something. Straight lines of lightning, so natural, right? Totally natural. And those radar reflections have absolutely nothing, right? Dew-op, dibby-bop-bop, dew-op, yeah. And it seems when multiple radars frequencies hit each other, they create these scalar waves. But yep, we got perfectly straight lines of lightning, and look at the size of that thing. All coming out of that one radar. This is crazy, folks. See how this one's got that popcorn fuzz that I was telling you about? I always tell you about. Look at that, stalling that storm, while the other one charges it up with that gigantic laser dew. Classic example of a radar. They're hiding most of what's going on in the radar, because I'll click the one next to it and you can clearly see there's plenty going on. But they've blocked it because they're using that other radar to do some shady stuff. And again, here we go. I want to point out that all these warning areas coincidentally are directly in the path of the directed energy weapons being fired out of the radars, because they're not weather geniuses. They are creating the weather, and they have a plan, right? So they put the boxes there because that's where they planned to create that. Look at that lightning in a straight line coming off that dew. Do not ever tell me that those are radar reflections and they have no effect on the weather. Now let's take a deep breath and smile in the face of their attacks, because they hate that. So let's count it all joy, my brother.